everybody, welcome back to Crafted by Norma. Today I'm going to show you how to make some faux tags and I suppose dog tags really, I would call them. Now I must admit I watched one of Tracy Fox's videos and quite liked the idea, so I thought I'd do my style using the inks that you can get from Tin Holtz, the alcohol inks that seem to be the in thing at the moment. But before I start, I'd like to say thank you to Linda for passing me some of the inks that she no longer uses, and to Kat at Art Fix Studio at her shop at the Williamson Art Gallery. I went to a art and mind well-being workshop that she did and found it really interesting, and was first introduced to using alcohol inks. So thank you to both Kat and Linda, and obviously for Tracy for giving me the ideas to begin with. So what we'll be using in this workshop will be, I'll just bring this across, there we go. So first off we will be using some of the alcohol inks. So I've got a selection there of different alcohol inks, all sorts of makes there, it doesn't really make any odds. Some of the felt scraps that I've got, believe it or not, a hammer, and some of the things to make the numbers with, the dies to make the numbers with. Now the other things that we'll be using will be some of this aluminium foil tape. It's for insulation, builders use it. It comes in two sizes. It comes in a 4-inch and a 2-inch strip. It's quite shiny and it takes the alcohol ink really well. So the next thing we'll be wanting is a piece of stiff card. So I'm going to be using some white card, which is, I think it's quite stiff, so I think it's about 280, perhaps even 300. Now, out of the two, I find it easier to use the 2-inch strip than the 4-inch strip to put it on, if I'm honest. But it makes no odds, it's whatever you can sort of get your hands on. Is what you need. So first of all, you're just going to just measure it down and cut out the piece that you're going to want, and then carefully, I'm just hoping this is going to be in shot, we're going to just tear off a little tiny piece in the corner, which will probably take me ages to do, seeing that we're trying to do it on film and I'm limited for time. Okay, so you can either do the whole of the sheet in one hit, so you've got a complete sheet of the foiled paper, or you can, I'm trying to keep it as close as I can. Once it sticks down, that's it. You have to run with it, unfortunately. There we go. So you can either do the whole sheet in one hit, and then you just want to burnish it down. Now I don't mind it having some of the wrinkles in. Obviously, if you're more of a perfectionist and you want it to be really straight, that's, as I say, it sticks to everything. There we go. And if you've got any that's on the corner, I've just in the past just scraped it over like that. There we go. And if you've got little tiny bits at the end there, we can quite easily trim that off. There we go. And we're going to do exactly the same as on the other side. Now this foil is quite thin. I have tried to use ordinary cooking foil, aluminium foil, and that was a nightmare because it wrinkles too much basically. So we've got that one strip on there, and we're just going to turn the card over and we're going to put another strip along that piece there. So it's again doing exactly the same thing. You just want to cut the piece down, and trim it off. Now, I honestly don't know how much this is a roll, because I've acquired mine off my son, who's doing a conversion of a van into a camper van, and he's just in the process of insulating the inside of the living quarters of the van. So when I saw what he had, I asked him if I could have just a couple of meters off him, because he had a huge roll, and he was good enough to let me have it. So thank you, Martin. I appreciate you letting your mum have some, even though he couldn't quite understand why in the world I would want it. And again, I've not stayed too close to the edge. Just using my trusty tea towel to burnish it down. Just trim off that little edge that's there, like so. Lovely. And then, if you want, you can actually burnish it a bit better if you've got a bone folder. But I'm just quite happy with just using my tea towel to smooth it all out. So once you've gone that far, all we're going to do then is just cut that card out, so we've got a full strip of your aluminium card. Now, I'm not the best straight cutter in the world, if I'm honest. But I'll have a go. I must admit, I've invested in these Tim Holtz scissors, and they have been a godsend. They're sort of like serrated along the edge, although I'm trying not to use anything that's glued on them, and just keep them for crafting. So there's my piece of card. So this is where it comes to the exciting bit now. So I'm just going to put down this paper here. So what we've got in the way of alcohol inks, we've got a alcohol blending solution. We've got also, you can get the I can't even say it, isopropyl, I don't know. And again, it's just a different make. And then I've just brought a selection of colours. So this one is butterscotch. This one is burrow brown. This one is, where are we? Lemon yellow. And this one is supposed to be gold. Now, to be honest, when I've used it, it's not really come out as a gold, but it'll do for what we're doing here. And then I've got some of the lint that I've used. There we go, got some lint, so I put a fresh piece of lint on. There we go. And the first thing I'm going to do is use some of the blending solution. Now, there is so many different ways of using alcohol inks. So this is the way that I was shown by Linda and, to be fair, Kat. So I'm just going to put a tiny layer of the blending solution, and then I'm going to just put some drops here, there and everywhere of the colours that I want. And I don't know whether you can see or not that it'll starts to sort of like separate. I don't know if you can see that there. So it starts to separate, and again I'll put some more different colours on, like so. Some of the browns. And then I'm going to put a little bit more solution on my cloth, on my lint here, and start dabbing. And what this does, it just moves it along a little bit. And if you're not quite happy with what it's doing, you can just add a little bit more of whatever colour that you want into it to break it up. So I don't know whether you can see that's reacting there. And if it's reacting a bit too much, you can just go in and dab it so it blends into how you want it to blend in. So there's a piece that I did a little earlier, just to give you an idea of what it was that I was sort of after. Sunlight's catching it. So now it does quite quickly dry, so you can use it again and again. And as I say, if you're not quite happy with the nail, you can put a little tiny bit of the solution on, and again that affects it again. So you can just play around really, but I just wanted it to sort of look like a copper rusty colour. I would have liked some more orangey coloured, so it's something I might have a look at, having a look in the there we go. I don't know whether you can see that with the sunlight coming through. So once you've done that side, it's just a case of turning over and doing exactly the same on the other side. So while that's drying, I'll use the piece that I used earlier. So it's just nice to experiment. You don't need an awful lot of the alcohol inks. They go a long way, so don't be too heavy-handed. And please, please be careful. Keep the tops on, because if you spill it, it doesn't come off. So, and if you get it on your hands, it takes ages to come off. So my nails are a wee bit mucky because I was playing this morning just to make sure I knew what I was doing. So if you were going to just put the labels straight onto a card, you don't have to do the back, but since I'm going to do the dog tags and the labels, I wanted it onto the both sides, but you don't have to if you're going to put it glue it on the back of something. So for the dog tags, or the little round circly ones, all I've gone and done is a 1-inch cutter and cut them out like so. So we'll do 2 of those, and possibly I might be able to get 3 out. Let's see. Oh yes, I think I'll get 3, yeah. I'll get 3 out. Just using my punch. And again, if you've got a punch that does the labels, cuts out the labels, fine, utilise one of those. So we've got 3 of those. And then we're going to have a go at, now this is where I need my, if I can find it. Because I can't cut straight lines. I really can't cut straight lines. So I'm just going to trim this down, and I'm going to make some tag shapes. So if I do it like that, I'll keep that because I might use that for something else, and we'll just do some finished tags. And again, you can do them any size that you want. Okay, so with the longer tags, I just want to cut off the corners, so I'm just going to trim those off like so. Do have problems with this thumb since I broke it. Let's just throw that into there like so. And with the corner ones, we're just going to leave them as they as they are. So when we've done that, we're just going to make a hole. So it doesn't have to be exact. If you want to measure it so it's the right corner, please feel free to do so. So you've now got a round tag and you've now got a oblong tag. So the next thing we want to do is file it down. Now somewhere I did have a nail file. I'm sure I had a nail file somewhere. It's like everything. It's just so annoying when you can't find what it is that you're after. Oh, no, I'll use one of these instead. This is my sander. So we're just going to go around the edges, like so. Excuse the noise in the background, but it's obviously my son just arriving home. Like so. And then all we're going to do is just ink round the edge, just to take away that whiteness of the paper, the card that's showing through, because we don't really want that to do. It's easy if you've got 4 or 5 of these, because I just hold them all together and do it all in one go. There we go. So we just want to take off the whiteness of any card that's there. There we go. So with this one, what we're going to do is just put a label on it, like we've done with those ones there. Now I like to use these labels from Tracy Faux. She does a range of digital downloads, and I like these little labels that she uses. So again, just with a bit of ink, just go around the edge just to take off that whiteness of the card. Now the ink that I found best to use to stick onto the faux metal is a heavy body gel, which really I think is excellent glue, sort of sticks anything to anything really. So all we're going to do is get a brush, and we just want a little bit of glue like that. Now the only thing with this on this metal is wherever you decide to put your label, it's going to stick and stay, and it's as easy as that. There we go. So that's the oblong one. And for the round one, which is more of a challenge, if I'm honest, we're going to be using the hammer and these dies, I suppose they're called. Now these are quite heavy, they're made in Germany, but I used to do teaspoons and forks and dessert spoons and things, so they're left over from when I was doing those. So all you're going to do is put it down on there. Now you can use whatever you like to stamp on. You might have a different system, but this is the system I use. So there's the 0. Not whether you can quite see that. And then I just line up. This one's going to be number 6. So as long as the number 6 is looking at you, you know it's the right way up. Yeah. So I used to do silver spoons for dates of babies' birth dates or anniversary dates. Those you had to be extra careful, because if you got the date wrong you'd ruin the spoon, so you had to be extra careful. So there's the